Every light, mile, and message starts in the dirt. Tonight we ride with the unseen giants that move mountains so our world can keep moving. Number 7. Caterpillar D11, the ground maker. On night crew, they call the D11 the eraser. Whatever was wrong with the pit when day shift left, this thing is supposed to fix. A modern Cat D11 sits around 250,000 pounds of operating weight, roughly 60 pickup trucks smashed into one low rectangle. With close to 900 horsepower pushing those tracks, it carves haul roads, rebuilds berms, and rips up rock that refuses to move. But the real story is the person in that cab. Maybe it's Mike, 10 years in, working under the open pit sun as he cuts a clean bench across a massive earthwork site. He's watching the slope angle, feeling every vibration through the seat, knowing that when the haul trucks roll in, every operator will be trusting the ground he just shaped with their lives. When the D11 falls behind, everything after it gets slower, rougher, and a little more dangerous. Number 6. Caterpillar 994K, the rhythm keeper. Before most people pour their first coffee, trucks here have been crawling toward the face for hours. This is where the operation either flows or chokes. The Cat 994K waits like a mobile apartment building, roughly 500,000 pounds with a bucket near 32 cubic yards, an entire 2-car garage of rock in one bite, and about 1,870 horsepower from a V16 under the hood. The magic isn't brute force, it's rhythm. Liam, the operator, has his rituals. Mirrors set, seat dialed, radio low. He spots a 400-ton truck, rolls in, and in 3 or 4 passes builds a clean, even load. No boulders on the edge, no high side to beat up the suspension. From above, it looks like choreography. Truck eases in, bucket swings, horn taps, truck rolls. A great 994K operator doesn't just fill trucks, he decides how fast the mine lives. Number 5. Caterpillar 797F, the money mover. Now those perfectly loaded trucks have to go somewhere. The Cat 797F is what happens when you design a vehicle around moving 400 short tons at a time, about 800,000 pounds of rock. Loaded, you're looking at roughly 1,375,000 pounds of truck and ore rolling as one. Jake's been running one for years, but that drop over the top of the grate at night still tightens his chest. Headlights catch the dust, the engine digs in, and the retarder, a giant controlled energy brake, starts that high electric whine. He watches brake temps, feels for the one bad bump that always wants to kick the truck sideways, and glances at the family photo taped to the dash. Back in dispatch, the computer doesn't see any of that. It just sees cycle time, load, travel, dump, return. Every smooth downhill in a 797F is a tiny miracle of physics in focus that keeps the mine's cash flow alive. Number 4. Letourneau L2350, the legendary loader. Most people only see the Letourneau L2350 in viral photos. In person, it feels like walking up to a building that decided to grow wheels. Operating weight, just under 580,000 pounds. Bucket capacity, up to 70 cubic yards heaped. Tires over 13 feet tall. The Letourneau L2350 exists for one obsession: dominate ultra-class trucks. In the right pit, it can center load a 320 to 400-ton hauler in just a few passes, keeping the fleet from backing up like planes circling a fogged-in airport. Trainers talk about rookies climbing down after their first load and just laughing. That nervous, "What did I just do?" laugh. Because a small misjudgment here isn't a scratch, it's bent steel and expensive downtime. The L2350 is what happens when your trucks get so big, your loader has to become a legend just to keep up. Number 3. Liebherr R 9800, the Mountain Eater. If the loaders are about speed, the Liebherr R 9800 is about sustained surgical demolition. This crawler excavator weighs around 1.8 million pounds, about 800 metric tons, with a bucket in the 50 to 55 cubic yard range, roughly 38 to 42 cubic meters. One pass can drop over 70 tons into a waiting truck. From the cab, 30 plus feet in the air, you're looking down into a world of shadows and rock. Your job is to keep the high wall, the vertical face of the pit, stable, floors level, and trucks fed. Every swing is a decision. Take more, take less, change the angle, protect the wall. Some nights the material peels away perfectly. Other nights, every bucket feels like you're dragging a refrigerator through wet concrete. This isn't just about moving mountains. It's about doing it precisely enough that the pit, the equipment, and the people all make it to shift change. Number 2. BelAZ 75710, the moving building. Just when you think you've calibrated your sense of big, the BelAZ 75710 rolls into frame. This Belarus-built ultra-class truck hauls about 500 short tons per load, roughly 450 metric tons. Empty, it weighs around 360 metric tons. Loaded, you're around 1.8 million pounds. About 67 feet long, nearly 33 feet wide, and over 27 feet tall. To move that, BelAZ didn't just scale up a normal truck. They bolted together 2 V16 diesels, feeding a diesel-electric drivetrain, pushing 8 giant tires through electric motors. Here's the catch. A truck this big doesn't simply join a mine. Haul roads, dump points, turning radii, shop doors, everything has to be designed around its footprint. Engineers aren't just drawing roads, they're designing the world this truck is allowed to exist in. The 75710 doesn't just change how much you haul, it forces you to redesign the mine around its shadow. Number 1. Bagger 293, the machine that is the mine. All night we've talked about machines that work in a mine. We're ending with one that deserves its own zip code. Bagger 293 is a German-built bucket wheel excavator, about 315 feet tall, 738 feet long, weighing 31 million pounds. Up front, a wheel more than 70 feet across turns, each bucket swallowing 500 cubic feet of earth. It doesn't take trips. It crawls at a walking pace, chewing non-stop and feeding miles of conveyors. At full tilt, it can move about 8.5 million cubic feet of overburden a day, enough to bury a football stadium. A small crew rides it, an operator watching power draw, a tech walking the spine, someone out on the boom, looking down at haul trucks that look like toys. Bagger 293 doesn't just mine coal, it redraws the horizon, one slow, electric bite at a time. The ground maker, the rhythm keeper, the money mover, the mountain eater, the moving building, the machine that is the mine. 7 giants, one purpose, to keep our world lit, moving, and alive. They're the muscle behind every light switch, every highway, every skyline you've ever taken for granted. So which of these monsters would you run for one night shift? Tell us in the comments, hit that like button, subscribe for more legends in steel. BB Machine Moments. Feel the power. Respect the giants.